freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round two recap for this week's Valero Texas Open. And joining me to break it all down from the studio, it's Greg DuCharme. What up, Greg?
Rick, I'm happy to be here in studio. Yeah, this is where we film course records, so pretty cool to be here. But Valero Texas Open is kind of getting exciting, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. We've got some names lingering at the top. We've got guys trying to play spoiler for our Jordan Spieth Sunday, and it's going to be a ton of fun. But yeah, this is, Greg, you are in just like your absolute best form in course record with the Madonna mic. I can't get over this. I'm so stoked about it.
I'm a huge fan of the Madonna mic. It gives me a little room. I can move around. I can turn around and point out. You know, it gives me a lot of motion. Sometimes with the pod mic, I feel I'm a little locked down. When we first started, before we did YouTube and had video on it, I would stand. I never would sit down. I'd walk around. I'd have the Madonna on and just and literally pace around. There were times I even did it on the cell phone. So it's nice to have a little bit of freedom in here, a little bit of wiggle room. And next week, Rick, on Wednesday, this is Michael Breed's studio, who does it's course record with Michael Breed, and he's going to be with us. So we'll have a little two-shot in here. Rick, you'll be with us, and we'll have a little live stream going on Wednesday. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. Looking forward to it. It might be madness, Greg. We'll see how things go, but it is still madness time in the sports world with the NCAA tournament as crazy as ever. But you're diehard sports fans, which means you want to stay in the know with all sports, and that's where CBS Sports HQ is your streaming answer. Just think about what's on tap this week alone. NFL draft and offseason coverage, Bellator 255, that's tonight. They have highlights and, of course, unmatched breaking news coverage. We could go on and on, but you get it. Sports never sleeps, and neither does CBS Sports HQ. It's available on your computer, your phone via the CBS Sports app, and your connected TV. I personally leave it on all day long, and if you live and breathe sports, I encourage you to as well. You know who was living and breathing golf on Friday, Greg? It was Cameron Tringale, who goes out and fires a 3 under 69 to move 2 shots clear of his closest chaser, holding the 36-hole lead at 9 under par.
Yeah, he played a really clean round yesterday. Just the one bogey yesterday. And then, so he's in great shape, right? He's at 6 under par. He starts off today, opens bogey. Starting on 10, and things don't, all of a sudden he's down at 4 under par. Things don't really look great for Camilo's at 8 under. So all of a sudden he's well back, and then he just decides to make it all up. Right. Like we always say, hey, it's 72 holes. You got to take your time. You're not in any rush to get it all back after Friday. Well, he said, you know what? I don't really have time for that. I'm just going to go ahead and make 5 birdies in a row. So he birdied 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which was his first 9 of the day. And then he went on to birdie number 2 and get to 10 under. He would end the day at 9 under. So yeah, right now your leader. And Rick, it was really, he did a lot of it with his iron play, right? Another day, both round 1 and round 2, he gained over 3 strokes approaching the green and ranked 5th in the category. So another really solid iron day for Tringale.
That's right. 3 strokes on approach, another 1.5 with the flat stick. That is going to go a long way. And Greg, I was thinking when you were talking there, maybe the reason that I've never made 5 straight birdies is because I never said, you know what, I'm just going to make 5 strate birdies right now. That's never even popped into my head as an option. Cameron Tringale thinks it, goes out and does it.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder, why doesn't Jordan Spieth or why don't these guys just go out there and just make all the birdie every hole, right? I mean, and you can do anything you put your mind to, right, Rick?
Seems a lot easier if they would just birdie every single one. Speaking of Jordan Spieth, we enter the weekend with him 2 shots back of Cameron Tringale. He posts a 2 under 70 on Friday that started like a bat out of hell, Greg. He birdies his first 2 holes. He makes the turn, runs into trouble with a bogey at 11, another at 13. So he steps on 14 tee at even par, and he's able to get 2 more birdies coming in to kind of, I don't want to say salvage this round, because 2 under, it's a great round on the day, but things were kind of sideways and he was able to put the wheels back on.
Yeah, there's an element of sloppiness out there, right? I mean, he hits 8 of 18 greens, which doesn't look great as a number. He loses about a half a shot approaching the green, which is something he really hasn't been doing. As you and Kyle were talking about last night, the iron play has been fantastic. So that wasn't great today. It was a little sloppy, but a lot of those shots were missed just off the green. They were kind of simple places, and it allowed him to get up and down 80% of the time. He's 8 of 10 in scrambling for the day. So that was impressive. That was really good. He hit a lot of really good shots. The one at 17 from just short of the green nearly goes in and hits the flag stick. So it's a positive sign for me without doubt, because he kind of, yesterday he didn't drive it great, but he was great with his irons. Today he drove it maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit, about the same, a little better, I would say, from the eye test. Doesn't hit it great with irons, but scrambles, and he gets up and down. And that's what Jordan Spieth does when he's really good. When Jordan is really good, like he is right now, when he contends every week, when he has a bad day, he turns it into a good day, whether it's with scrambling or whether he's hitting the ball great. It doesn't really matter. He knows how to get the ball in the hole as well as anybody. I mean, with the exception of Tiger and probably Phil, I haven't seen anybody score the way Jordan Spieth scores on a regular basis. We just had a kind of a 3-year hiatus from that. But even in that 3-year hiatus, he still was able to manufacture some incredible scores when he was playing really poorly. So I think it's still a very good sign for Jordan.
I'm glad you mentioned the fact that he is contending every single week, because Justin Ray let us know this stat. Since February 1st, Jordan Spieth has been inside the top 10 through 36 holes on 5 separate occasions. Think about that. That's only 2 months. He hasn't played every single week. He's been inside the top 10 5 different times going into the weekend. Matt Fitzpatrick is second on that list. He's done it 3 times. And then there's 14 others with 2. So, Greg, you know the saying is you keep knocking on the door. Eventually, it's going to open. Might this be the week that the door opens for Jordan Spieth?
Yeah, I think there's a strong possibility of it, because we haven't seen his best stuff yet. And I have confidence from the prior weeks. So, I mean, we were talking about Waste Management, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Arnold Palmer Invitational. That's 3 of them. This would be a 4th, and the other must have been, I can't think of it off the top of my head. It wasn't a WGC.
Genesis?
It would have been Genesis. That's right. So all of those events, he's right there in the mix. This one, he doesn't have his best stuff. I mean, he hit 9 greens yesterday. Even though he gained approaching the green, he had 9 birdie putts. Today he had 8. So he doesn't really have his best stuff. And I think based on that statistic you just gave, he really has a chance to bring his best stuff tomorrow and Sunday. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. When you have your B game or C game, and it's said all the time, when you have your B game or C game and you're within 2 of the lead, it's a good sign of things to come. So Jordan Spieth should be really confident right now.
Cameron Tringale is going to take the lead into the weekend at 9 under, 2 shots back, both Matt Wallace and Jordan Spieth. Then 2 behind those guys is a group. It's Kevin Stadler, it's Kyle Stanley, it's Brad Snedeker, and it's Eric Van Rooyen, Greg, who shot a 68 on Friday. But the notable thing, he's back in the joggers, baby. Your thoughts on EVR's joggers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe the ankles are a little. You got to let him breathe a little bit. I don't quite get it. The guy you really got to talk to about this is Mark. Maybe there's a little cultural. I think it's got to be a South African thing. We never see Mark's shoes. We don't see below his. We don't see below the desk for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mark's wearing those every once in a while when he walks around. So I'd like to ask him about it. But my thoughts. I mean, look, I'm wearing full length pants, and I got high socks on too. So I'm not a joggers guy. I'm not for it.
The thing with the joggers are it really magnifies your shoe game, because your shoes are now much more on display. If you've got bad shoes, you're in trouble. So like when Ricky was wearing the joggers with the high tops, that was a look, right? He didn't lean into it. He dove head first into that look. So I think it actually is not so much even about the joggers, Greg. It's about the shoes you're wearing.
Yeah. Look, the thing that bothers me is the space between the joggers and I mean, if you're going to have space between your shoes or whatever you're wearing on your lower half, it's got to be at least a full shin to me. And when you get to where, you look at the things that cross the line for me, it would be Tiger Woods wearing shorts that are below the knee. Okay. That's too long. Maybe if they're athletic shorts and you're in a basketball game, I can understand that. Still, my preference is at the knee or slightly above. So you have to see at least a shin. And when you can see a whole shin, I'm okay with it. When you have less than a shin, which is either a jogger where you only see an ankle, very, very small amount that's visible, or really baggy shorts, well, now I'm not a huge fan of that. So you got to choose one or the other. Is it a capri? Is it a baseball pant? Are you missing high side? I don't know. There's something missing, and I think it's just a couple of inches on the length of his pants.
I love it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to look at the William Hill odds and see if there's any value heading into the weekend for who can win the Valero Texas Open. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. Let's look at the betting board. But before we do that, Greg, we had a special guest pick. Your son said TPJ. TPJ's the guy. Not so good. 13 over and currently second from DFL.
So I'm going, well, thank you for that. I'm going to have a talk with him later. And the talk will be, I'm not upset. I'm actually quite thrilled. I want to keep him away from the sports gambling place for quite some time. Maybe until he's 30. I had a friend of mine once tell me that he had his third child, and he told his dad, we're pregnant again with our third. And his dad, he was 37 at the time, and his dad said, what are you thinking about? It's a 40-year commitment. So I'm going to have at least 40 years to tell him, what kind of things he can and can't do. And I will remind him of this moment next time he tries to say I'm getting into sports betting.
All right, fair enough. Well, we're going to get into sports betting right now. William Hill has installed Jordan Spieth, who is 2 shots back heading into the weekend, as the favorite to win the Valero Texas Open. He is 2-1. Cameron Tringale, your current leader, 275 plus 275. So that's 2.75 to 1 on your money. And then Matt Wallace, who is there with Jordan Spieth at 7 under. They're the only guys in single digits because Wallace is 8 under. So a lot of respect for Spieth, who is 2 shots back, Greg, but heavily the favorite on Will Hill.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I mean, the guy's won 11 times on the PGA Tour. He's won 3 major championships. He's worthy in this group of being the favorite. Absolutely. And 2 shots behind one guy is nothing. It can happen in a single hole. So I do think that's fair. Another guy you look at a Charlie Hoffman, who's at 28 to 1 right now. And he's sitting at a great round today. I believe the round of the day today, he shot 6 under. So I give him a lot of credit for that performance. Then you go down, get into like the 150 to 1 range, and you get Adam Hadwin, who's not pictured there. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
he's at 1 under.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. He's sitting at 1 under, and I don't know how far back. I'm half joking about Hadwin here, but how far back do you think is too far back, Rick?
All right. Well, actually, I think a lot of guys are still in this. So round 1 played nearly a shot and a half over par. Round 2 played just a hair over a stroke over par. So if you go out and shoot like a Charlie Hoffman, 4, 5, 6 under par, you're going to make a big move, which is usually good. Then you have the gap from Tringale, which is 2 shots, and then 2 more guys with 2 shots. So really, those 3 golfers might not extend here. So if you're within arm's reach of 5 under par, you're certainly in this thing. I actually don't. I think the 1 unders are still alive. Like I don't think Adam Hadwin's going to win it, but the 1 unders are certainly still alive. Yeah,
I mean, you're looking at you're in tied 23rd. If you're 1 under, you're tied 23rd. So you got to pass 22 guys when scoring average is around. Look, I mean, it's around a little over par is. Look, that's high. A scoring average of 73 is really high when you have 4 par 5s. But the par 5s don't play as easy as they normally do. And I think that's why this is one of the tougher par 72s on the PGA Tour, because the par 5s are so long. And when you get wind, they they get out of range. So that means that there's no easy birdies. There may be one or two a day, but it's not like there's 4 holes that you feel like you should birdie every time you go play. So that really opens the field up. And as you said, Rick, a 66 goes a long way. And if you're Adam Hadwin and you go shoot 66 tomorrow, you end up at 7 under. That could be tied for it could really realistically be tied for the lead.
Yeah, even if you shoot a 68 on Saturday, you probably gain 5.5 shots on the field. You at least get yourself right back in the mix of things. And it's certainly possible that one of the guys in that tie for 23 are going to do that. The one that is somewhat interesting, Brandon Hagee, we've seen his name pop up quite a bit. He leads the field in strokes gained tee to green this week. He's gaining in every single category. He's been great off the tee. He's been great on approach. And oh yes, by the way, losing over 2 strokes putting. If he can figure that out and run hot over the course of the weekend, he is sitting there at 50-1. That's kind of interesting, but there are, I think we're going to see a lot of movement. So most weeks we turn into the weekend and it's kind of already like, it's probably going to be one of these 3 or 4 guys. I think you could see a pretty big flip tomorrow, even if it is Spieth and Tringale still near the top of the board or whatever. I think the next group of guys, like, I think there's going to be a lot of movement on Saturday.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You look at what Camilo did today. He shot 4 over. You had Scotty Scheffler shoot 4 under yesterday and then shoot 6 over today. Shot 78 today. So I agree with you, Rick. There's a lot of a high score, like a 77, a 78 is out there, even for a guy who feels like he's playing pretty well. So I agree with you. There will be a lot of movement. There's one other guy that kind of is catching my eye. I'm curious to get your thoughts. It'd be Kuchar. Kuchar's back at it again, and he seems to have found something where he's playing a steady game, like he did at the match play. If you call what he did at the match play steady, but that kind of game seems to work out here. He made 3 birdies and a bogey today, and I think he's found something with his swing, and I'm impressed with his stamina, and that's my biggest question. But I'm really impressed with his game.
Yeah, I was certainly much cooler on him heading into the week. He has already exceeded my expectations by being on the first page of the leaderboard through 2 rounds, but he's doing it in a pretty good way. I mean, he's gaining strokes in all 4 major categories. And, even if he didn't find something necessarily that's awesome in his game at match play, just the confidence alone, right? Just the ability to go out there, beat some of those guys. You might still be riding a little bit of a high heading into this week. So yeah, I do tip my cap to Kuchar for what he's already done this week. And I don't know if it's going to continue, but it's already much better than I thought.
Yeah, I'd agree with, and I think he found the confidence before the match play. It just showed up at the match play for the first time. So I don't think he's surprised. He's a veteran. He's a guy who's familiar with winning. I wouldn't look past him. The only risk is that stamina.
All right. That'll do it for the round 2 recap of the Valero Texas Open. Obviously, we'll be back after each and every round of this event, and there is about 1 million Masters pieces of content that are coming next week. So for now, let me thank producer Jacob doing all the hard work behind the glass. Let me thank Greg DuCharme, who you can find on Twitter at TheRealGFD. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut, and we'll catch you next time.